Today, one step
Apparently,
closer to
they're doing a
completing the
deal to take TikTok. It's actually happened. He signed in a thing. That's new.
Today, one step closer to completing the TikTok deal. President Trump expected to sign an executive order this afternoon that states the deal is a qualified divestiture, which meets the requirements of the ban or sale law that passed last year. According to the White House, the deal will transfer control of TikTok's U.S. operations and a copy of that all-important algorithm to a new joint venture based in...
You know what really sucks about this? What really sucks about this is that once it gets into the Americans' hands, they're gonna jack it up just like they did with YouTube's algorithm, and they're gonna keep people poor because people are trying to use these sites to actually get more known. That's how Queso got so popular so quick. Was through TikTok. They need to keep ties on everything.
United States. We're joined now by Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. He is also the chairman of O'Leary Ventures. All right, Kevin.
Bro ripped off a lot of people. A lot of those shark people did. Those Shark Tank people ripped off a lot of people.
It is not yet public who all of these stakeholders
I've heard like horror
are.
stories of people, because like in order to go on the show and be aired, you have to give up like a percentage automatically of your company once they air you. And that's just to go out and talk to them. They take a percentage of your company. And then once they sign a contract, I've heard so many of the older people that went through the show say that a lot of their investments would fall through because they would never actually help them. I've heard horror stories of Shark Tank.
In the deal, we're getting
I'm not sure about him. There's probably a reason why he's the one here and not them. But
names out
from
there.
what
The
I've
president
heard,
name dropped a few. Will you or any of your firms have a stake in it?
No, no lack of buyers. There are so many PE, private equity people and investors that want to be part of this deal. It has so much upside. Definitely, I'd love a piece of it. There's no guarantees at all. The only person I know with certainty that, and I'm also just assuming, but we'll see this in a couple of hours, is Larry Ellison, because he is hosting in Paris, Texas, and in Virginia, the actual source code, of which there's 5 billion lines. So he's going to be part of this deal, and my guess is between he and Trump, they'll handpick who is going to be on the cap table.
Yeah, they're very
they're
close.
going to jack that algorithm up just like they did with YouTube, just like they did with Instagram and Twitter and everything else. They're going to Americanize it, and they're going to suppress whoever they want to. And then
That's right. And under the deal,
it.
Oracle, founded by Ellison, in
TikTok's
cooperation
cook, boys.
with the government, monitors.
My favorite thing, their argument for this is, oh, well, we're taking it away from the Chinese government so that way, the servers are in China, so that way they don't steal your information. Do you think for 1 second I'm okay with America's government having my stuff? They're just gonna take it and sell it to China anyway. What's it matter? That's what they're gonna do anyway. Like that's what they always do.
The algorithm, to quote, ensure content is free from improper manipulation or surveillance. That's according to a senior White House official. Doesn't that raise questions about allies of the president and his party and private industry and the government monitoring a social media tool that arguably could affect the outcome of an election?
Well, there is no doubt that this is an unusual deal. There's never a court order, and the risk of not complying with this law long after the Trump administration is gone. This thing lasts for years, and the fine is over $800 billion. So you're going to get it right. And
I'm shocked that guy sold it.
The ones you don't want to give access to, those are the Chinese ones. But remember, TikTok's complicated.
I don't want to give access to the U.S. government either. They just as bad. What you talking about? They just gonna sell it to China. They're doing this for money, man. They're gonna take the algorithm, suit it to where a lot of people that are talking about stuff like politically, they're gonna slap all those views down. They're gonna suppress the hell out of it. Then they're gonna take all that data from people signing up on it, and they're gonna sell it to China anyway. That's what they do. They're taking it over because the government wants more control over what can be seen on those sites, just like what's going on with YouTube.
There's countries like Switzerland.
That's what they do.
You know, when a hot watchmaker breaks in Switzerland, it goes on TikTok. I need to know that. That's Swiss, and we're friendly with the Swiss. We're friendly with the Indians. We're friendly with the British. I got even a bigger one.
Well,
What
no,
if you
hold
went back
on.
to
Well, I got ally, right? Another Trump ally has been running it for a decade, and how it is administering the algorithm of such an important social media tool.
They're gonna use
by
it
the
to suppress
staffers?
voices they don't like. I mean, obviously, that's why they really want it. That's why they've always wanted it ever since people started seeing how bad it was on YouTube. I mean, on TikTok, how people were starting to complain about how no matter how much you work, you're not getting anywhere. And with these student loans and stuff, ever since that started happening and popping up and getting viral on TikTok, they've wanted to take it because the thing is with it is that it will take the eyes off of these racially charged things when a lot of white people are also going through what a lot of black people are going through. And it takes that's another reason why I'm like, well, maybe that's the reason why they're trying to politically charge everything is because they can't racially charge everything now because of TikTok destabilized that entirely. So it would make sense for them to want to buy it because they can restabilize it and then keep people from seeing stuff like that. That's the whole reason why. I mean, they tried with YouTube Shorts to get more people to use YouTube Shorts, but it just ain't working. It just ain't gonna work. So they ended up having to take TikTok because they knew that if they didn't do something, you know,
Of China hawks. Some of them are Democrats, some of them are Republicans, but they represent the people of the United States. And they will make sure, regardless of who's in the
I
White
love you,
House,
drive safe.
long after Trump is gone, that this is so unusual that this platform, this media company that's ingrained in its own act of Congress, and then 9-0.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime I see a Shark Tank person, I'm like, yeah, no, that's a vulture, bro. That ain't a shark. That's a shark. That's a vulture. He sees the dead corpse already. He's trying to get a piece of that pie.
Jay or the
Right.
Pentagon.
This goes deeper than they're ever gonna say. We will never find out exactly what's going to be changing in TikTok until it starts happening. And you know what's sad is when people start noticing it, it's going to be too late because they're going to be so suppressed with the TikTok algorithm. They're never going to be able to, like, to give you an example, you could have built an entire audience talking about how daily life as an American who goes and works 13 hours a day and can't afford rent can go from making 3,000 views a post, sometimes higher, to 2 or 3 views. That's how they can tweak these algorithms. They and you and that's the crazy part is you could even be subbed to this person and follow them and you have to go to their page to see their new videos. Happens on YouTube all the time. All the time. It's disgusting. There is no real freedom of speech anymore. That's why it's so sad to see people like Kirk getting killed. Is like, you do realize that going out and public speaking is really the only freedom of speech you have anymore. You are suppressed so much through YouTube's algorithm, Instagram's algorithm, Twitter's algorithm. It's not even funny. Because they want to keep the rich people that have already made it where they're at, or they want to keep the poor people from getting there. So they're going to tweak it as much as they can to keep these ratios where they're at. It's all a money game. It's a numbers game. That's the world we live in. And they like it that way.
I don't know.
They want you to be a
They're
good
not-
little cog in their little money machine and stay poor and work yourself to death. That's what they want.
They're not
When
seen
I-
as
It's not a political battle. It's a battle between rich and poor. And it sucks.
independent arbiters by much of the country.
And they're going to spin it to look however they need to keep the heat off of them as long as possible. And it's working.
Well, wait a second. Is Congress an independent arbiter? Yes or no?
Well, it is.
I think that the argument of taking TikTok is just stupid. It's stupid.